So here we have a brief description about each of this model. However, we are going to discuss waterfall method and an agile model in detail because they are widely means widely. They used heavily in industry. So the industry, that is the reason I would like to throw more light on waterfall method and agile method. So let's jump into the waterfall method right now. So this is our waterfall method. This is how it looks. This is how it flows. It flows like a water from one step to other step. That's how your project goes and moves from one step to other step. So this particular model or method is the most straightforward type of model, and it's essentially the oldest too. The main characteristics of this methodology is that programmers focus on each step one after other. After finishing the requirement gathering, we move on to the design. After finishing design of the application, then we will move on to the development. That's where we put our features and functions, functionalities, and user interface, everything into digital code. That's zeros and ones. That's where the system gets understand. Then we will move on to the verification and testing or quality assurance and everything. And final step that goes on to is deployment and maintenance. That's the final step. If it is done, all set, your application would be ready for the usage of user. That's fantastic, that's brilliant. But you see the flow other than the steps, how we are moving from one stage to other stage. That's how you finishing the first step, then from the beginning to the end, then you jump on to the next phase, and this continues, goes on till you come to the deployment and maintenance and then support. So this is the reason for its name, as there is a mini plan for each of the phases, and they waterfall into their next after completion. There is of course pitfalls in this as well, when one does not complete the smallest details that can stagnate the entire project. You can see that if there is an issue in a development phase, then it's all done. That's it, you can't move ahead. You have to stop it there, stagnate. Your project will be stagnated there. So that's the reason it's there. This is the biggest pitfall of this method. So if you see, then what are all the advantages of this method? In this, the developers can catch design errors during the analysis and design stages. The total cost of the project can be accurately estimated, as can the timeline, because it's a step by step, it's a sequential way. So it's pretty easy to basically estimate the time, that's a project completion date, as well as the total cost of the project. And with the structured approach, it is easier to measure progress according to clearly defined milestones, and developers who join the project in progress can easily get up to the speed. It's whatever is done before were done, so they have to just pick it up, and then they can move on to the next phase easily. So customers aren't always adding new requirements to the project, so delaying production. So these are the positive sides of the waterfall method. Then what about disadvantages or cons of the waterfall method? So the cons of the waterfall method or projects can take longer to deliver with this chronological approach than with an iterative one, so such as agile methodology. So clients often don't fully know what they want at the front end. So opening the door to requests for changes and new features later in the process, when they're, it would be very harder to accommodate. That's the main pain point of waterfall method. Waterfall method main pain point is this. And clients are not involved in the design and implementation stages. That's the one more negative point. Deadline creep, when one phase is in the process is delayed, when one phase in the process is delayed, all other phases are delayed. Obviously, that's how this system works, that's how this process works. So now the question arrives, in which scenarios or in which cases or in which project it would be a best fit. So when requirements are clear from the beginning, if this is the condition, this fits very well. It saves huge amount of time, it saves a huge amount of resources. No ambiguous requirements from the client, that's nice. And good understanding of technology and the short term project with low risk. So this is where this waterfall method fits damn well.